Makeup. Is that all right?
Yeah, who did your hair, actually?
Oh, I'm only the best.
Oh, so here I am at a very exciting event honoring Pete Seeger's vision, and this is HaPPy TRauM?
Yes, hi, that's it, yeah.
So is HaPPy on your birth certificate?
No, but my birth certificate is Harry, but my parents
it's almost the same.
My parents started calling me HaPPy when I was about 3 months old.
So they just changed the R. They just took that little line off.
That's what they did.
Wow.
So that's what most people know me as.
So if you get paid, it's Harry.
Well, if I get a ticket, it's Harry.
Like an airplane ticket.
No, well, an airplane ticket or a speeding ticket.
Then it's Harry.
Yeah.
But everything else is HaPPy.
That's right.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in the Bronx.
I was born in the Bronx.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I didn't really live there.
Oh, okay.
Where in the Bronx? But I know.
Right around the middle, around Tremont Avenue and the Grand Concourse.
I heard it. I know where that is. And when did you leave the Bronx?
I left the Bronx in 1960, moved to Manhattan for about 7 years, got married, had 3 kids, and then moved to Woodstock.
Like
which is
how
where I've been
early?
living since 1967.
Wow, so you moved there at the beginning, like right before Woodstock.
Before Woodstock.
Wow.
That's right.
So what happened? And that was Happy Lane, wasn't it?
It's, Woodstock was an artist colony since the turn of the 20th century. So it's not like a new thing. That's the reason they had the festival there in the first place.
Right.
And there were other musicians and
Did you
artists
go?
living there. I did not.
So
No.
you didn't see all the mayhem?
I didn't,
And
no.
what,
And it was
even-
50 miles away from the town.
Oh, okay.
So it didn't touch us except for the shrapnel afterwards.
Yeah, which I'm sure took forever.
Still, to this day, people are looking for those.
Like Hurricane Sandy.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So when did you start playing guitar?
When I was in high school, 1954.
What high school did you go to?
I went to the High School of Music and Art.
Which is now LaGuardia.
Now LaGuardia.
Wow.
Then it was separate, and
Who'd you go to school with? I'm sure you had some interesting people.
Peter Yarrow from Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yes, the other Pete that people always mix up with Pete Seeger.
Peter,
right?
Yarrow, yeah. And Eric Weisberg, the banjo player who did the dueling banjos. You know, remember dueling banjos from Deliverance?
Yeah.
He went to high school with me,
That's
and a lot of other people. But it was a very active, engaged school even back then. It was very politically progressive, and for the most part, not everybody, but mostly, and a lot of very interesting people were there even back then.
And after that, you performed and played with many interesting people,
Right.
as well as yourself.
Right. I started playing full-time professionally in 1960.
With who?
Well, I was invited to join a group called the New World Singers, and that was in about 1961, 62, and we did a lot of the the songs that were being written, the political songs around that time. So we were the first ones, for instance, to record "Blowing in the Wind."
Wow. So
did
did Bob Dylan write that song?
He wrote it, for sure.
Was he in that band?
No, but he was a good friend of the band, of our band.
So did he write that song for your band?
Not for us, but we were the first ones to record it.
Wow.
And then we did an album after that for Atlantic Records.
Are you
and
still friends with Bob Dylan?
I haven't seen him in a while. We're not friends, but I haven't
Right.
seen him in a number of years.
Right. Did you play with him?
I did. I recorded with him. In fact, something I recorded with him in the early 70s just came out on his last they call it bootleg, but it's not really bootleg. He puts it out, yeah.
So he releases his own bootleg?
Right.
Smart man, right?
Yeah, sure.
Has he always been smart?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Like sharp as a tack?
Really sharp. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
He's very, very smart. Obviously.
So did you know Edie Sedgwick?
No, I did not know her.
You didn't hang out with
That
those
was a
guys?
different crowd. I wasn't in that crowd.
Was that crowd like after that crowd? After the Blowing in the Wind?
Probably was. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But that was more of the downtown kind of, all that whole glam scene. Had nothing to do with that.
Was it like two roads, like the Pete Seeger road and the Andy Warhol road?
Kind of, yeah. It was kind of the folk, kind of traditional music, blues, singer-songwriter stuff.
Right.
It was going one direction, and then you had Lou Reed,
right.
the Ramones, all that stuff, a different direction. I wasn't involved in that stuff.
Interesting. So when did you meet Pete Seeger?
Well, I first met him when I was just out of high school, but then I got to know him through the years. Eventually, he did a video for my company back in the 90s. I have a company called Homespun Tapes, which makes instructional videos. So he, for all kinds of musical instruments.
Well, how many do you play?
Well, I just play guitar and banjo, but we have lessons in fiddle, mandolin, bass, electric guitar, harmonica, all kinds of it. We have about 600. Homespuntapes.com. Or just homespun.com will get you there. Homespun.com.
Oh, now it is pretty interesting. So do you know what they're singing?
Yes, this is a round. It's a. Let's see. Oaks are standing. That's the Peat Bog Soldiers. It's an old, early song about prisoners working in the peat bogs in Germany.
So is this in reference to World War II?
Yeah.
So when did all the political stuff start happening? I just recently was in Prague, like a week ago, and it just blew me away. The whole thing of the communism and the government and how, it's no joke. It's so serious. We're so naive here because we have not lived through it, and it's so on my brain right now. And it's so interesting that you guys really stood up to it. But do you think it was? What's your view on that?
Well, I have a lot of mixed feelings about that, because I was in Prague also not too long ago, and I know they really suffered under communism. It was terrible, and under Nazism. I mean, it's like all of it.
Exactly. They were like in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All of Eastern Europe was like that.
Totally.
Right.
It's wild.
But I did meet some wonderful people. I got to play with some people who like American bluegrass in Prague. I got to do a little concert with them.
They love music. It's such a musical town. So back to Pete Seeger. So did you perform with him and work with him?
I have performed with him quite a bit over the years. He was an amazing person, just a great soul, brilliant, both musically, politically, every way, and he did so much for so many people.
Can you say like three major things?
The main thing that comes to mind about Pete is that what you saw on stage was exactly what he was off stage. There was no artifice. There was no pretense at all. He was who he was, and he always was thinking about how to make progress in the world in one way or another. And, of course, what he did for the Hudson River was brilliant by starting the sloop Clearwater and raising consciousness of people all up and down the river to clean it up and make it livable again.
Right. So, if you could do something major like that, what would you do?
Wow. Well, I think continuing Pete's work in any way that's possible to make the earth livable, breathable. Yeah. Make the water drinkable,
It keeps coming up more and more because of where it's going. It's like it feels like it's getting cleaner and dirtier at the same time.
I think there's hope. I think the consciousness is gradually sinking in, but we're up against these incredible big money forces.
The 1%.
Very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to fight that.
Because where do they eat? I'm always curious because they don't seem to care.
The funny thing is they get their food from the same place everybody else does.
Yeah, do they think it's not going to affect their grandchildren or something?
No.
I just don't understand that. So what Pete Seeger songs stand out to you that are your favorite?
Well, I'm going to do a song tonight called Quite Early Morning. And to me, that's one of his greatest songs. And it says... It's a very optimistic song, and it says, if we heed the warnings, the time is now quite early morning, which means it's still time to turn things around and change things. It's typically optimistic the way Pete was.
So there's always hope.
Hopefully there's always hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Now on our little show, we do a silly little thing called Skeleton in the Closet. And I just found out that it is National Vanilla Pudding Day, so I couldn't bring any vanilla pudding, but I did bring some white chocolate. I thought that might work. So I'd love to share a piece of white chocolate with you if you would share a skeleton from your closet. It's even the color of a skeleton.
Beautiful. Look at that.
the closest to vanilla pudding.
Uh-huh.
So a skeleton is some little secret that maybe your mother doesn't know.
Well,
Back in the day, it could be from
back in
a little trouble.
a little trouble that I was in. Well, most people don't know that I was. Let's see. Well, I was in a lot of demonstrations. It's not such a secret, I guess, because that's what a lot of people did.
Did you have long hair?
Oh yes,
How
long
long?
hair, down to here,
Yeah.
big mustache. Yeah, I was pretty.
So were you a hippie?
Sort of, but I was also raising a family, and it's hard to be a hippie and raise a family in a healthy way at the same time. So I was kind of on the edges.
Sure.
You know, I had some of
A
the
responsible hippie.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
I had some of the trappings, and I went along with some of the aesthetics and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I get
but
it.
I didn't totally drop out. I worked hard all my
Did
life.
you ever burn the flag?
No,
Yeah.
never did.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Did a lot of marching. Got arrested.
How many times?
Arrested?
Yeah.
Well, just once, but it was
Enough.
Enough.
Where'd they put you?
In the tombs.
Oh, you went to the tombs?
Yeah.
They're still there, you know. Wow. Did you spend the night?
I spent a little longer than that.
Oh my! They kept you at the tombs for all that time.
Well, they kept me
weekend?
they kept me at the tombs for just a night, but then they
Rikers?
Hart's Island.
Oh my!
Yeah, which isn't a prison anymore, but I did some time there.
Wow!
I know.
All for peace.
All for peace.
Gosh.
Only for peace.
Yeah, it's crazy. In Prague I met people like that did that too.
That was a whole other thing.
Because they had long hair and were wearing makeup.
Yeah. Well, if I was in Prague in the 50s and 60s, that would have been that's brave. Those people really are brave to have stood up to that.
Yeah, but you're brave too because America is of course the best place to be. Good.
It's melting.
Yeah, you have to. America, we're lucky here, which we don't understand. But even so, you got to fight for the right?
I think you do. I think you have to stand up and not just be one of the people that just goes along to get along, whatever that expression is.
So do you have gigs coming up upstate?
I do. I'm doing a lot of benefits these days. I just did one. In fact, it was a Pete Seeger tribute. Benefited both the Clearwater and a local school in Woodstock. And in 2 days, I'm doing a benefit for a group called Family of Woodstock. That's going to be a Bob Dylan tribute. They're all Bob Dylan songs.
Okay. What are you singing?
I'm going to sing Just Like Tom Thumb's Blues, which is one of my favorite Dylan songs ever. And I'm going to do I'll Be Your Baby Tonight. And there's some other great people on that show. Donald Fagen from Steely Dan's going to be playing piano with me. Don Byron, great saxophone player.
I know somebody that plays percussion with Steely Dan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be on tour. They're
going
on tour with Steve Winwood.
Uh-huh.
And this guy's playing with both.
Great. Yeah. That's a fantastic band. Anytime.
They went to Bard, right?
They did.
Yeah.
They did, yes.
That's where did they meet at Bard?
They did.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Wow.
And
Where'd
Donald
you go to college? Did you go?
I went to NYU.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
So you came. Oh, so is that before? That was before Woodstock.
Yes.
All right.
I graduated in 1960.
Wow.
I'm old.
Well, you look good, man. What's your secret? What's your beauty secret? Because I guess you eating candy and being happy.
I don't eat a lot of candy.
Okay.
I'll have one piece of vanilla. No. Yeah.
It's good. So do you have a website that you want people to stalk?
Well, homespun.com is where they'll see all the work that I've been doing for almost 45 years with my wife Jane. We've built this company together, and we have over 600 DVD lessons.
Wow. Did you by chance, I'm playing the game, did you ever know anyone named Elliot Rose? He used to have West Manor Music in the Bronx. He supplied all the instruments to the schools in the city for a long time.
Sure I did know him. It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
That's all right.
Uh-huh.
It was West Manor. Yeah, he was a good friend of our family. I know, because I'm thinking lessons and all those instruments.
Yeah. Well, we've got, and we have people like Pete Seeger, Donald Fagen, Dr. John teaching some piano. We have some great bluegrass and blues musicians. I mean, it's a big catalog of stuff.
Wow.
And we've been building it up for, as I said, over 40 years.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
well, thank you so much for talking. Is there any last
Thanks
shout-out
for having
you
me.
want to say?
Well, I think it's great that you're doing this, and I really love to hear from people. And if People can get in touch with me through our website, and I'd love to hear and see who's been watching this and
Sounds good.
get in touch with me.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
HaPPy. We'll be back with more. We have no idea what's in store at this Pete Seeger.